My first funded account, 100k FTMO account with a brand spanking new price of 500 and something pounds. I don't actually remember how much it was at the time, but it was definitely money that I couldn't afford to lose. And here are some of the major mistakes that I made on my first 100k FTMO that ultimately resulted in me blowing the account and having to start over at square one. If you're new around here, please subscribe. Please let me know that you enjoy these kind of videos. I'm going to continue to talk more from personal experience. Run the intro. What's good, my people? It's your boy Daniel FX here, and today's video I'm going to be talking about how I blew my first 100k FTMO account challenge and some of the mistakes, some of the bad psychology that led me to actually blowing that account. Now let's just get right into the video. Let's not waste time right here. The first reason that I actually blew the account, first and foremost, is for the longest time up until the challenge, before I actually took an FTMO, I put the challenge on a pedestal. I looked at traders online. I looked at people like Hannah Forex and like Wills FX, etc., that were passing funded accounts at the time. And I really linked my entire identity. I really linked my entire livelihood, my entire career as a trader on whether or not I could pass a funded account. And truthfully, it was a major aspect in whether or not I would make money in trading, is if I could get a funded account. But I put so much pressure on it from the get-go before I even took a funded, that when I actually hopped on the funded, I was so scared to execute positions. I was so scared to follow my analysis because I didn't want to even think about the possibility of losing it. And ultimately, I wasn't willing to lose the account if it did happen. And that's what led me to trading with fear, unconfidence, with a bunch of bad psychology, because I simply wasn't willing to take the risk. And that leads me on to my second point, which is I was afraid of losing the account. This links in very heavily to a couple of other concepts. First and foremost, I couldn't afford to lose the account. I think it was like 540 pounds at the time. I couldn't afford to lose 540 pounds. Granted, it wouldn't have made me homeless or anything, but it was a large, substantial amount of money that took me maybe 40 plus hours working at the dishwasher job I was working at the time to save up that kind of money. And truthfully, obviously I could have lost it and just gone back to work and made it again. But it's one of those where like it took me a month, 2 months, 3 months, however long it took me to save up that money. I did not want to lose it like that on a screen kind of thing, and I wasn't in the correct state of mind to really be taking educated risks. I wasn't willing to potentially lose that, potentially go into drawdown and face the reality that I might not pass the account on my first try. Now my third point is that I hadn't previously made 10%. Now this seems pretty obvious, because why would you take a challenge that requires you to make 10% when you haven't previously made 10%? But this is something that I done at the time, and looking back, it's so stupid because you're not going to be able to do it with additional pressure and additional psychology. But previously I was averaging a decent amount. I'd have some months that I do a crazy gain, some months that I do a terrible gain, whatever. But it was super inconsistent, and I had never really done a 10% month before, which is why when I came onto the challenge and I had a time limit, I was forced to take trades I wouldn't otherwise have taken. And I really tried to hit that 10% target, and ultimately it led me to over trading, it led me to over leveraging, and I just done a bunch of dumb things that should not have been done because I was not prepared to make that 10%. Now point number 4 is that I started the challenge way too early. Now I don't mean too early in my trading career, because I did also do that. I shouldn't have taken the challenge when I did take it. But when I purchased that 100k FTMO, I think I started it on the first day that I purchased the account. So there wasn't necessarily a super clean setup. There wasn't necessarily a very clean trading opportunity. I started, and because I bought the account, because I had the credentials, I was like, okay, I might as well trade now. Immediately went into the markets and looked for a trade and executed the position. Even though there wasn't necessarily a position there, I forced my will on the markets, I forced my analysis on the markets, and I tried to trade something that wasn't there, and it immediately put me into drawdown. And when you go into drawdown, especially if you can't afford to lose that money and you're already nervous, you're already hesitant, you already lack confidence as it is, being in drawdown is the worst thing that you can do, because it just amplifies all the emotions 10x. So I was trading with more fear, I was trading with more unconfidence, I was trading just trying to get back to break even so I can get my free retry kind of thing. And again, it just leads to more over trading, more bad psychology, more over leveraging, more revenge trading, more just worse trading habits. And ultimately that's what puts you more and more in drawdown. Now in my final week, I did actually manage to bring the account just back above break even. By some miracle, I hit a couple of nice trades and I got my account just above break even. Now granted, that entire challenge period, the first 3 weeks, I was doing terrible. I was fighting for my life just to get above break even. And I finally managed to get it there, and I told myself, okay, I'm gonna stop. Okay, this was not the one, this was not the nice month that I needed to make that 10%. But the second I got above break even, I started to get confident again, because I had taken a couple of back-to-back wins to get above break even. And I was like, yo, I'm on a winning streak, let me just double up my risk, let me just risk a little bit more, let me just pass it. It's 1 week, I can do it, it's 7 days, that's 7 trading opportunities, or whatever I thought at the time. And again, it just simply wasn't a realistic goal, it wasn't a realistic target. I had never done 10% in 7 days, so I don't know why I expected to do it in that moment. But it was just a dumb idea and I followed through with it, and obviously in the last week I blew the account, ended up getting nothing. I didn't even get a free retry, which was really bad for my overall well-being and my financial status at the time. But it was a very valuable lesson that I learned, and looking back I should have stopped, and I definitely would have stopped. Looking back, I would have stopped in that final week and just gone for the retry. But some major pieces or major takeaways for you guys is, number one, don't do an account you're not ready for. Don't trade with money you can't afford to lose. Don't purchase an account that you are going to blink an eye if you lose it. For example, if you're purchasing 100k FTMO, which costs like 500 something pounds, if you are going to be upset if you lose 500 something pounds, you probably cannot afford to lose that account size. So go lower, go for a 50k, go for a 20k, but just lose money that you can afford to lose. Don't trade with your entire salary, because it's going to really affect your trading psychology. Now, another major point is that pick a nice trade, pick a nice trading period, pick a nice month for you to start the challenge. Just because you purchase an account, it does not mean you need to immediately start it. Alright guys, so I'm currently editing this video. Guys, please like the video, it really helps me out. So the end of this video that you just watched, like last 2 or 3 minutes, actually got cut off. I don't know where it is, it's not on the file, it's not imported, it's not on my camera, I can't seem to find it. And I've already spent like 3 and a bit hours trying to edit this video and get it sorted out for you guys. So I can't lie, I'm done. I've got other things I need to get done throughout the day, so I just can't continue to do this. But it really does take me a while to edit these videos. As you guys have seen throughout this video, I'm trying to bring up the quality more and more sound effects, more visuals, more engaging kind of content. So please let me know in the chat room, or not in the chat room, let me know in the comments if you actually like this, if anyone cares. Because on a real, if you guys don't care, if it's the same difference to either way, I can very happily go back to the previous style of content, because it gets edited and gets created a lot quicker. Obviously this is much more high quality, and I don't currently have an editor, I am doing everything myself. So let me know if it actually means anything to you, and I'm going to continue to drop bangers. I'll see you guys next week.